Step one is you turn on the focus right, and that green light shows it's on. You'll always turn this off at the end of a session because this is not meant to be on 24 hours a day. Of course, log on the computer. Most of the time, you don't have to change this setting. Audition will do it for you automatically, but I went into settings, sound settings, and we're going to go to Focusrite USB. Once I change things in Audition, this usually changes automatically, but if it doesn't, this is how you fix it. And it's already showing Focusrite on both of these. So I'm going to set up my Creative Cloud and open up Audition. Now, sometimes this will remember things of what your settings were in here, but you go to Edit, Preferences, Audio Hardware. It did not on mine, it went back. Change the device class from MME to ASIO. USB. 128 has been working fine in this room. If it's not working fine, put the number to higher if you start getting clicks or issues, but for me it's been working fine. Sample rate 4800 if you are working on a film or a TV show. If everything else in your session is 9600, like if you recorded on the Mix Pre at 9600 and want to keep it that way, stick with 9600 for more editing flexibility. If you're doing a song, it's usually 44100. We're going to leave it at 4800. Okay. I find it's easier to record in multi-track, so I clicked on multi-track to make a new multi-track session. Test record. I always put the date and initials. This is just throwing this temporarily into a documents folder, Adobe Audition. You really never want to save things there. I'm going to browse. I'm just going to throw it in my documents. It's a test record, but you always want to be plugging in a hard drive and recording externally, or immediately move your files. Okay. So to arm a track to record, hit the R. To monitor the recording so you can hear it out of the monitors while you're recording, hit I. So no one's in the recording, but if they were, we'd be able to hear them in the monitors. Now you can see this is picking up pretty loud levels, and that's because it's turned on the device. It's also only going to the left channel because it's on default stereo input, and there is only one input right now. So I'm going to change to mono input 1 instead of stereo. Now you see everything went away. I have to unarm and rearm, and now I have a mono track. So if you're only recording one track of audio, one person speaking, you want to be on mono, not stereo. You could also create a new track and add a mono audio track and record that way. Remember, if you want to monitor and be able to hear it, you have to hit the I. If you're recording multiple inputs at the same time, you can arm the next track to record and go to mono, input 2. You could go to track 3, go to mono, input 3, and arm them to record. And there's nothing plugged into these, so we won't see any levels, but we can arm them this way and record multiple tracks at the same time. And you just use the eyes to select what you're monitoring to record. When you're recording, you want your levels to be around peaking at -12. Really, you'll be able to see that you're into the yellow when people are the loudest. This is a little bit low, but this is just picking up me speaking from here. And you can see these levels on the channel itself and your master levels. If I turned off I would not see master levels here. So to actually record, you have to click the record button or shift space. Starts recording a track. Now I have all 3 tracks armed to record, so all 3 are recording. I'm going to unarm these 2 tracks, and I hit space to stop recording, then record. And you can see I'm getting audio to track 1 from the mic in there. Stop. If I were to go here and record again, it's going to start a new track over top. I'm going to let this go a little further. On playback, it's going to play back the top track, but because there is something underneath, I could drag this under and then find it. Control Z. Or I can send clip to back. So I could send the clip to the back, and now the other one is in front. Now, to control your levels of what you are actually recording, you have to control it on the Focusrite unit itself. So you control the levels over here with these knobs. This is also where you control phantom power. Like right now, phantom is turned on for 1 through 4 and 5 through 8. So inputs 1 through 4 have phantom power, 5 through 8 do not. This knob controls, sorry, that's channel 2. Channel 1 is controlled right here. And you can see on the levels, just me speaking loudly to the other room, when it's turned all the way up, we hear a little bit of sound. Now, right now, input 2 is broken. So if you're recording more channels than 1, you would skip ahead and plug into inputs 3 through 8 for your additional channels. So you can record 7 channels right now. And this is connected through a snake in the wall to get to here. So right here on the other side of the wall, that's where that panel is if you need to plug in other inputs. And don't mess around with everything on the other side. Those are all hooked up to go to the Focusrite unit. To control your speaker volume for your monitors, you use this wheel. So I just have something random queued up.
You know, Justice, you're very talented. You could go far with this.
And then if you don't hear anything, it's likely because somebody pressed these buttons. Both need to be on A, which is when the buttons popped up. So I'll push these down to B, and you hear nothing. A, source, B, monitors. If you're recording ADR in this room, you can turn on this TV. There is a little wheel on the back. Press it in to turn it on. And this will be set to display what is on the secondary monitor. So if you have your video up in the secondary monitor, the person can see it. And then to turn it off, press the wheel, push the wheel down, and go to power off. If you need the person in the other room to see what's on your video display, under your little hamburger menu, you can choose, well, one, you should always have spot video frame when adjusting audio clips so you can see it. You can put on timecode overlay if you want. Most people recording don't need that. But the big thing is mirror full screen, that you're sending it to monitor 2. So that on the second monitor they can see it. And then you can just take off enable full screen if you don't want that. So if you are recording an audio book with someone, you could put up in this second screen the text of the book from a digital book and scroll. If you have voiceover you need them to record, you could put up a Word document and scroll and basically use this screen as a teleprompter. But if you're doing ADR, you can use your video from Audition with using that mirror full screen, enable full screen to monitor 2. The microphone in this booth is a voice-over microphone. It's great for voiceover and vocals. Do not use this for ADR. Check out the same mic you used on set. Check out a C-stand, a boom mic holder, and a boom mic, and run that through the wall for recording ADR. It will be so much easier to match. So make sure this mic is nice and centered in its holder. If you're getting pops, adjust the pop filter to go over the mic so the person can still be close, but you lose some of those plosives from this filter. And that's just kept in the corner over here. In the voiceover room, this headphone mixing station lets the person hear you on talkback from the control room. All mics controls their total volume to their headphones. Talkback controls how loud you are when you're talking to them. One controls the feed from the computer. Now, if you have headphone monitoring up, input monitoring up, we're not set up right now to be able to send separate audio where they can turn down their own volume. So you would have to turn off input monitoring if they can't handle hearing themselves like while doing ADR. You're not going to be able to have both up right now. That's a different setup that we don't have set up in this room at the moment. If we had additional links going to 2 and 3, set up, then it could be routed that way. So that's not set up at the moment this way. So you can only turn up both input monitoring and playback on here. When you're done in this room, make sure you shut off your Adobe Audition session, save your changes to your external hard drive or an online location. Don't leave it on the hard drive. Not saving because this is just a sample. Make sure you log out of your Creative Cloud. Sign out of the computer, and make sure you turn off the Focusrite system so that you do not burn this out. It's not meant to be on 24 hours a day. And that's the basics of using this suite. If you have trouble, call Media Services. They're upstairs during working hours. They can help you immediately. And don't mess around with cables in the back, only plugging into the interface, and you should be good to go.